Hi everyone, welcome to the Symposium podcast. I'm Momji, broadcasting from the UCLA campus. So today I will have conversations with UCLA students about the increasing concerns over the novel coronavirus or COVID-19. This podcast is brought to you by Symposium, a mobile app for UCLA students to chat with other students on campus about topics and ideas you're interested in. What makes Symposium different from Reddit or many other discussion apps out there is that you can chat with people near you, and if you want, you guys can meet up. We're trying to bring people together in real life for face-to-face conversations. I know it's not the best time to promote in-person interactions, but hey, coronavirus will go away, so go ahead and download our app, Symposium, from the Apple App Store or Google Play. Now, back to our podcast, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. I'm on a call with a student at UCLA who decided not to come to campus due to the increased risks of coronavirus outbreak. So, Eric, thanks a lot for speaking on our podcast. And my first question to you is, how is coronavirus affecting you, and how are you dealing with the situation?
As far as how it affects me, so this week was the first week that I decided to skip a few classes and decide to study at home. I think that the administration's decision to not move the classes online poses a potential, a decision for me to make between my family's health and my grades. Because, simply the fact that I will be going back home this spring break, and I don't want to pose a threat to my family members and elderly members, and I don't want to get a bad grade, obviously, as a student at UCLA. But the fact that there are these risks, and even though there are no cases in Westwood, there's a source online, I couldn't confirm this, but there's a source online saying that there is a confirmed case in Culver City, and that is very close to where Westwood is. And I don't know if that just further supplements my decision to skip classes and, find the best middle ground to keep my family and be safe and, keep my grades as, do the best I can on the exams. So that's that.
As far as I know, there hasn't been any confirmed case for coronavirus at UCLA, and many of the students I spoke to today on campus feel more relaxed about the situation. You, on the other hand, have a different perspective and made different decisions, and I'm glad that we have you on our podcast. What do you think about these mixed views?
I think that reactive measures are very dangerous because of how contagious this virus is. Especially because we have a lot of students going home right before the finals to be with their family, and travels can increase your risks of contracting the virus immensely. And when you bring it to campus, we still don't know who has it or not. When you are in your incubation period for the virus, you have no symptoms, you have no reason to get tested. I don't think the CDC even gives you the qualifications for giving you a testing kit. So for all we know, right now, every day, day to day, we have classes and tens of thousands of students are being on campus within very close distance to each other. I think that it poses a big threat. And going forward, I think that for spring break and afterwards, there should be concerns about traveling back to where their homes are, and if they have potentially like immunocompromised family members, or if they are immunocompromised themselves, or there are elderly members of the household, you should especially be concerned with traveling and then getting home and then coming back. There are just like too much risk for you to not be aware, for you to just be relaxed about the possibility and to roll a dice. I don't think that's very reasonable, at least in my opinion.
How about your friends and classmates? How are they reacting?
I would say that, just as how you explained, there's a sense of relaxed attitude among Westwood residents. There is a bit of mixed reactions coming from my friends and my classmates, because there are a few who think that some people are overreacting by, for instance, I'm skipping class, quote unquote, protect my family. And they would definitely view that as an overreaction for something that has not blown up in our faces just yet. And then there are other students who are also on board with my thought process that the school, the professors, to go further, the nation should be acting proactively as opposed to reactively. So it's pretty interesting that some people are in their own bubble. And I mean, I hope that their attitude is appropriate, but I suppose we'll see.
Hey guys, you're listening to the Symposium podcast. There are 3 episodes on the coronavirus and UCLA with very different perspectives, so make sure to listen to the other episodes. If you like topics and conversations like these, don't just listen, join the conversation on Symposium. Download our app from the Apple App Store or Google Play. That's Symposium spelled SIMPOZIUN. Please follow us on Instagram, YouTube, Twitter as Symposium app. Now, back to our conversation. There are other universities like UC Berkeley, Stanford, and I think USC as well, but I'm not sure, have announced that they are shifting to online. What do you think about UCLA administration's response and handling of this situation?
Actually, USC did cancel their classes and moved it to online. And in comparison, so given all the schools that have canceled, like USC, not to mention schools in Seattle, universities in Seattle, the ones we know, Stanford and UC Berkeley. Excluding UC Berkeley, though, I would like to comment on the fact that all the schools that did cancel so easily and move their classes online are private. And I do anticipate the certain degree of difficulty when it comes to our administrators canceling their classes because our school and UC Berkeley are public. Everyone knows that it would be tougher on the public schools to figure out how to pay the TAs, the professors, and the employees on the Hill and on the campus. But actually, I was on campus while the shooting went on at UCLA at Engineering 4 when the professor was murdered by this former grad student. And I think overall, given the circumstances, there is a certain level of distrust towards the administration from the students because, not to criticize them too harshly, but we just had the town hall meeting at UCLA, if I recall correctly, that just ended a few hours ago. Based on the questions that they addressed there, we did not get any more information than we did from the emails that we received from the administrators. And not to mention the fact that they cut the town hall meeting short by an hour. And these things and how they handle the fire, the shooting, I think it further justifies people like students like me who take the matters into their own hands and then decide to go skip the classes to do what's best for me, because the fact is that we cannot 100% trust the administrators to do what's best for the students, because for administrators, they have everything else in mind to also take care of. So while I understand the task at hand is a pretty difficult and impossible one, I couldn't say that there isn't even a little bit of disappointment from the students coming. Yeah, and that's all.
How is it like not being able to go to classes in the final week of winter quarter? And how are you preparing for finals ahead?
Right. It's happening mostly electronically, and obviously grades-wise, there would be lectures that I'm skipping, there will be discussions that I'll be skipping, and I know that to a certain degree my grade will suffer, but I think that's the decision that I'm making, and to reach out to classmates whom I know that I can hopefully get some notes from. But ideally, I would hope that they would be able to accommodate students like me and hopefully go ahead and put the lectures on Broomcast at least, so that we can also participate and get information from the lectures regarding the final.
Thank you for listening to this episode. There are 2 other episodes with very different perspectives on the coronavirus and UCLA, so make sure to listen to them as well. This podcast is brought to you by Symposium app. Symposium helps you find like-minded people to have a meaningful conversations in real life. Download Symposium app on Apple App Store and Google Play. And see you on our next episode.